Welcome back to the Awakenings podcast. I am here with the one, the only, Casey McDole, my big brother.
It's true.
It is true. How are you today?
Doing well, thank you.
You got a haircut. It looks nice.
Like
Beard's getting long.
Thank you. I'm going for the rustic look.
The lumberjack look.
Lumberjack.
I like it. I like it.
I need to look rugged.
You know, people often don't think we're related.
I don't know why.
I mean, you got red hair, green eyes, and freckles. Or are they blue? Maybe they're blue.
They're blue sometimes.
And I tell them we're Irish, and they're like, "Whoa, you must be the Black Irish."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What does that even
You
mean?"
look up the last name McDole. It's pretty versatile when it comes to demographics, if you will.
Okay.
We
So
come from a long line.
we do. Casey, how long have you been coming to here to? Nope. How long? Words are hard sometimes. How long have you been coming to Vitality Health and Wellness?
You'd have to tell me that.
You don't know?
Like what, 2-3 years?
Has it been that? I don't know. I didn't look up your chart. I thought you would know these answers.
I'd say probably 3 years, man.
How did you find us? How? Why did you come here?
Because you work here? You don't want me to say that? Or I won't say that.
No.
Okay.
No, I want the truth. But why?
Because here's why. I'll tell you why. Because I started watching her come and doing this stuff and tell me about it. And I'm like, well, man, you're like losing weight and not like in a crazy sort of
fad diet
sort of way. Like,
yeah.
you know, and I was like, okay. And started
Toning
telling me about it.
Yeah.
And
Because I've been chubby my whole life, huh?
We've both are like, I always said I was shaped like a 4x4 post my whole life. Okay. I went to the Marine Corps. Okay. I came out shaped like a square. I look like a rectangle sideways.
You lost some weight while you were there. I remember your neck was really skinny.
You lose weight in your face and stuff, but these hard areas down around your belly, I don't care how many stairs you do, how long you run, it's not going to happen. How many pounds you put in that backpack, it's not going to fall off.
Not going to happen. So you saw me in my journey. You saw me changing.
Let's go back to, we started a Biggest Losers family event when Biggest Losers were on TV. So
that was my last semester in nursing school. So I graduated nursing school in 2010. We did a Biggest Loser competition in my family because we're all hefty people, right? So we did this whole, everyone weighs in, I can't even remember, you pay a certain amount, and if you gain weight, you have to pay money. Right? Yeah, and then it was like I did win. Hell yeah, I won. Guess what? I lost like 30 or 40 pounds in like 4 or 5 months. I had people at work ask me if I had cancer. Like they were worried about me because I dropped weight like that.
So during that time, I took a bunch of what men would have taken. I took Oxypro Elite. I took a bunch of Hydroxy Cut, stuff like that. Of course, to the recommendation. I never went over. I never wanted to get, because those things are high stem. They'll make you shaky and make you nervous. And I'm already wound up.
You are.
Can't tell.
Yeah.
But so during the course of The Biggest Loser, I lost some weight, but it was people noticed it, but I knew it was a temporary fix because I was using other things to
speed up your metabolism.
To speed up my metabolism. And I was, inappropriately fasting, I suppose, just for that window, just for the just for the competition. It wasn't. It really wasn't.
Yeah. So we as a family hit it hard. We hit it hard, big. Like we massively cut our calories. I didn't really exercise much, but in that, for me, I lost a whole crap ton of weight real quick and gained it all back. Did you?
It came back. Yeah, it definitely came back. Once you get off the pills and the
start eating regular again.
You eat your regular, even the pizza twice a week. I'm just. Not saying you can't do that, but it starts coming back. Alcohol. Once you go back to your drinking habits before you went on your diet, before you went on your January 1 to March 1, and then it's 70 degrees and you're outside with your shirt off, popping cold ones with the boys, throwing the cornhole bags around. That's when the side fat starts coming. That's when that spare tire shows up. Okay. Then I don't want to take my shirt off. And I don't want to, and you know me, I run hot. I don't wear clothes. I wear shorts.
You were in a band for a minute and you guys got hot on stage and you frequently took your shirt off.
Absolutely. But when you feel, portly,
chubby,
when you're feeling
portly,
like you're retaining water, if you will, when you're retaining that spare tire that you don't want, that everyone you think is looking at, but they're not. We don't care about it. But that's how you feel as a man, especially if you're on stage in front of people. It's even worse.
So then weight was a big thing, right? But that wasn't your only thing. Like, why did you want to go on testosterone?
So I've been working out at the gym since, I'm 44. I got out of the Marines at 22. I said, I'm never working out again.
Yeah.
For about 2 years. Right?
Yeah.
And then I was 220 plus pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was all right here.
Yeah. All in the
spare
belly.
tire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and then, we had the Biggest Loser contest. Fast forward to 2011, our mother passed away from cancer after her second bout. So, again, I was a drinker and a smoker at the time. And
that was rough though, man. That was rough. We're a tight family. So our mom passing away at a young age, she was 54 years old. And our family has always been big. We've always been heavy, right? Our great grandma, we never met her, but remember there's a picture of her sitting on a couch with like every single great grandchild sitting on her.
Yeah.
They were like on her body. Like that's how big she was. So this whole like, oh, my whole family's big, so I'm destined to be
big boned.
Baloney, right? Baloney. Genetics may load the gun, but your lifestyle ultimately is pulling the trigger.
Ultimately.
So we watched our mom get cancer, like you said, the second time around. She was a bigger, heavy-set woman, not exactly healthy. We ate like crap growing up. I mean, it wasn't horrible. We ate Del Monte canned green beans, right?
Right. We did a lot of processed foods, though. So,
Do you ever recall having a salad as a kid?
No.
Would you eat? I don't think you would have eaten.
We ate ghetto food, okay?
Tuna nuna casserole.
Tuna nuna casserole, hamburger gravy.
Hamburger helper.
And spaghetti. That was our rotation.
Ragu.
And if we were lucky, we'd buy 2 of them big frozen pizzas on Friday and rent a couple VHS movies.
That's right. VHS.
Google that one.
VHS. That's right. So weight's always been an issue. And then you kind of watched me as I started with Vitality Health and Wellness. I kind of, I did a little hormone. I started going to the gym. You started like, wow, dude. Like my nickname when I was a kid was what? Bubble butt. I mean, there was a few other ones in there too, but I've always been a hefty girl. And I was finally like starting to change, but not just drop weight quick. I was like, wow, I got a little muscle on me, a little bit of things. So you're like, let me see what this testosterone's about.
So take me back to 2010. Again, I quit. It's a lifestyle change you have to make. Okay.
Yeah.
You can't just go on a diet. You can't just say,
that's right.
I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to be this healthy weight. I want to be, and men, you want to look a certain way. Women want to look a certain way. You want your stuff to fit a certain way. Okay. So it might not necessarily been, I got in the Marine Corps at 173 pounds, give or take. It wasn't about my weight. It was about how I looked and how things fit me, my shape, my awkwardness of the shape that my body was. I didn't have the V or
the hour.
It's
not hourglass. It's V.
I didn't have arms that were filling my sleeves out. Things like this. Even though I was a Marine, trained killer, but still body confident. A lot of men will not, come out and say this. So again, going to the gym, knowing my training from the Marine Corps, my learning weight training throughout high school and all those things, applying those things as an adult, nothing's happening.
Yeah, so you weren't seeing the results that you should have been seeing given the work you were putting in.
Right. It didn't matter what I was doing. I'm eating chicken and rice, protein. I'm watching more YouTube videos and I'm not cheating. I'm not, again, I'm not doing shortcuts anymore. I'm not taking the hydroxy cuts. I'm not taking the Oxy Pros. No matter what, they'll come out with something new. I'm not taking it. Okay.
No Test Boost Max for you.
No Test Boost.
Nugenix Total T. None of that.
Nope. Just straight up regular protein. And I do take creatine. That's
absolutely. Everyone should be taking creatine.
And vitamins that you've recommended I take.
Absolutely.
But yeah, once you see the results in somebody else, especially, and then, I'm a man, everything's quackery,
right.
So it's like, I'm not partaking in this, and you do a little research. You're like, well, wait a minute, it's not steroids. It's not, some FDA unapproved. It's not some
quack.
It's not even some big pharma thing.
It's not snake oil. It's not snake oil.
It's not snake oil. It's not, Bill Gates didn't give this to me. He has nothing to do with it.
Right.
And then when I started doing the research on my own, the bioidentical stuff, the looking at what like, so I am a disabled, 60% disabled veteran. So I do qualify for VA benefits. I do go to the VA hospital. But see, when I inquired the VA about this, they were only apt to help if you were in a case of low T, which I believe is under 400.
300, right? So let's talk about that for a second. The reference range for total testosterone depends, first of all, on which lab you're going to, which is another dumb thing, but is about 300 to 1100. That is huge. So as long as you fall within that reference range, you're normal. You don't qualify for treatment. Even if you're 350, doesn't matter what your symptoms look like, doesn't matter at all. As long as you're within that reference range, you're good.
Right.
So go on. So you talked to the VA, you went to the VA, said, hey, will you draw my testosterone? Did you have to ask them to draw it?
No, I inquired once you started,
gotcha.
we're working here and telling me about it. So I asked them because I do get veterans benefits and they, essentially will help you if you're low T, which I am not.
Because we're optimizing you, right?
So yeah, and they will help essentially bring you up to what they consider the standards are, but they didn't have the bioidentical.
They use testosterone cypionate.
Yes.
They use the injectable testosterone.
Yes.
Which, I mean, it works. It works well for a lot of people, but there are a lot of studies out there that will suggest that long-term use of this testosterone cypionate can actually cause some problems, especially with your cholesterol and your lipid panel down the road. So we do prefer here at Vitality, we do prefer to use bioidentical. Actually, we don't prefer. That is all we use. We only use bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. So what I want to reiterate here is when you sought help through conventional medicine, the veterans conventional medicine, not only did you not qualify because your numbers didn't match, but then even if you did qualify, they would take you to a certain level and that's about it, right?
Right.
Was that your understanding? Like if you're less than 300, cool. Like let's say you're 250, we'll get you to 400 and after that you're good.
Right.
Right? And then that should be good enough.
So yeah, and the idea of the creams and the like or the shot you can do every so often is like I set my phone down and forget where it's at. Let alone being able to remember to do this every single day, twice a day, 3 times a day. Bring it with you if you're out of town. That's a pain.
Yes, So you do pellets then.
I do the pellets. Yes.
Yes. So we set it, we forget it, you move on about your business. Minor surgical procedure a couple times a year. And that's it. You don't got to worry about using these creams or nothing like that. Let me ask you, what difference have you noticed in the last couple years since you've been on testosterone?
I'll give you a perfect example, foolproof evidence.
Yeah.
Is, again, I go to the gym every day. I try to. I've had rotator cuff problems. It's a Marine Corps injury, but it's been ongoing. And I recently had another round of x-rays. And as you know, on an x-ray, you can see the bones on the inside, and you can also see the outline of your arm. My arm was visibly, I would say, 2/3 wider.
Yeah.
Visibly on an x-ray.
On an x-ray. Because you can see the shadow of the muscle mass.
Yeah. So much that he said something. He's, wow, you've been hitting the gym.
Hell yeah.
So again, and shoulders are one of the hardest spots to hit. So, and with me having this blown
injury,
shoulder for 22 years,
and you're still building muscle there,
and I can still build again. It's still it's not
100%,
right?
Yeah,
but it does allow me at least to work around.
Do you notice? So I know because I know you, obviously. I know you had a lot of back issues after the Marine Corps. Do you notice like joint pain or your back or anything? Do you notice testosterone playing an impact on any of that?
That's a great question.
Or you not really been paying attention to it?
Here's the thing with the testosterone. It's not like a hit of adrenaline. You don't go, wow, okay, I'm ready to go now.
Yeah.
It's like you notice when it stops, but you don't notice it like it still takes a minute. You're like, why am I tired? I feel like I have COVID again. Do I have COVID?
Yeah. You're talking about as your pellets are wearing out. That's how you know you need to come back and see me.
So it doesn't hit you instantly. You're not gonna get it and then instantly feel peppy. It might take a few days.
So I'm really glad that you bring this up because I'm going to contradict you because everyone is so very different. So very different. I did a testimonial podcast with another man earlier today who is only 7 weeks into therapy. And what I call it is a hormone high. He got that bum rush.
Right.
Did you get that the first time? Do you remember?
I would say that's how I've been telling, I've recommended a few men to come up here and I've been telling them that it is, it might be, boys, you'll get it. It's like alcohol, okay? If you don't drink 2 beers, you're feeling good. But if you do drink every day, 2 beers doesn't do anything. 4 beers doesn't do anything. Next thing you know, you're and the same thing with this, as far as the way I
your perception. Yeah.
So I feel like I'm a high functioning alcoholic on testosterone without the alcohol. Okay.
So you're almost saying you develop, I don't want to say a tolerance because then it makes it sound like testosterone's not working.
Tolerance is a good example though for you to understand at home because tolerance is something that we all know we've all learned our whole lives.
Yeah.
But this is more, for me, it makes sense to call it like a tolerance to where I am at I know it's not your medical term, but where I'm at this level of everything just is working. My body's working. It's not falling apart completely.
I love that.
Until it just slowly starts fading out.
Yeah, and that's the pellets. That's that's how you know that you got, hey, you're calling me. Yes. And you know me, I'm always like, how do you know? And you're like, I don't know, Amanda. I just know.
I expect my sister to be, in charge of all these.
Right. I need to know everything about everything. Right. So, but that brings me to the point that with my women, they're literally, I've got hot flashes. I've got night sweats. I've got this. They list, boom, 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 boom. I do a new male patient consult. Now, granted, I have a symptom checklist that's kind of obscure and a little vague, but I ask them, I want to hear from your own words. Like, why are you coming here? I don't know. I just don't feel right.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll say energy, sometimes they'll say sleep, sometimes libido, but it's in this overall sense of I don't feel right.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
It's all the same. All those. It's your energy, libido, all of these things that you're still
your vigor.
You're this 24-year-old tiger just ready to pounce. I'm gonna do it later. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. And the next thing you know, you're sleeping in the chair. Okay. And the tigress is in the kitchen slamming the dishes around trying to get your attention. But you're passed out in the chair. Okay?
You're passed out in the chair.
That's where
I'm gonna take us back, and I don't think this will embarrass you because I don't think much does. But remember when we first started, you were single. And I remember you calling me, and you were. I'm gonna move the microphone because I might get loud. Whenever I impersonate my brother, I get a little loud. No wonder why. And you were like, Amanda. That's my you voice, by the way. You were like, this stuff changes me. You're like, do I smell different? Is it my pheromones?
My pheromones?
You're like,
my musk?
Women are looking at me different.
I mean, I'm having to just
beat them off with a stick.
Both hands.
But you did. You noticed that people.
It's your confidence, man. It's your confidence. Your confidence get boosted. You feel good. Look good. I look good this morning.
Yes.
Feel good.
Yeah, you stand a little taller. Your shoulders are a little more. Yes. And so then, because that's what we talked about on the phone, I was like, dude, it's because you feel better. You walk better. You feel with you.
Yeah. You don't have that lack of, like, I don't know, that we call it a fog of war in the military, where you don't know what's going on. You don't know really what's, like, you're just confused. Okay. That's what it kind of seems like. You just get confused and then you get straightened out and it's like, wow.
Clarity.
This is clear. Everything is clear. And then the fog of war can happen again if you let it, lapse, stay up on the treatments.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a good point. I get asked, how long do I have to do this? My answer is, as long as you want to feel the way you currently feel, right? So if you stop doing testosterone tomorrow, what's going to happen?
I would, I would lose some drive, and it would, my lifestyle, my way of life that I live now is how I want to live, how I think everybody should try and be a little bit better every day in what you do. And that would,
and it's not perfection,
no, it's
right?
not perfect. Not by any means.
You
No,
still enjoy a little alcohol, a little bourbon
absolutely.
on occasion.
Absolutely. And again, anything in moderation. It's how bad do you want it? You know, I still go get pizza on Fridays. You know, I'm going to get my daughter. We'll grab some ice cream on the way home.
Do you think, I asked another patient this once, do you think that your being on testosterone has impacted your parenting at all? Do you think, and let me rephrase that, like, do you feel like you have more patience, that you're maybe a little bit more, like, do you, honestly, answer that question. I'm curious.
That's
Have
a
you
good
even thought about it?
question. I haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
I don't think I could definitely attribute it to any sort of, maybe, again, calmness
Yeah.
in the fact of your, appreciation of yourself.
Yep.
Rather than having this underlying sort of disgust for yourself. You know, kind of how men, we get that way. You know,
Yeah.
we're upset about our careers. We're upset about our relationships. Our kids don't like us. You know,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the situation is, we take it, and it does affect us. It
Yeah.
does. We won't talk about it. We don't bring it up. It does affect you, though.
We need to talk about it, right?
You get to my age, you look in the mirror, and you're like, "Whoa, what's all this stuff?" You know, it starts.
Them grays.
Yeah,
that's why you keep your hair short,
gray.
huh?
It's all gray around there. I'm the opposite of most men my age. I got it on top. I keep her bald on the side. So.
Let me ask you, what do you think? Because if you look at my patient population, male to female ratio, I have far more females than I do males. Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a lot of guys out there that really would benefit from this therapy. Tell me your thoughts. Okay, tell me. Why am I not seeing them? Where are they?
We're afraid.
Why?
We're men.
What are you afraid of?
There's nothing wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
So what? I'm tired. I worked hard today.
Mm-hmm.
Testosterone, that's steroids. I'm not doing those steroids. I'm not doing, these are things.
It's cheating.
It's cheating. I'm not doing that.
But what if I told you had high blood pressure and you needed to take lisinopril? Would that be cheating?
Here's my theory on the testosterone is, for example, my insurance won't cover this testosterone because it's not medically necessary.
Yes.
But all these things you're talking about, if I was fat because I didn't have testosterone, I'd be on blood pressure statins and all these cholesterol medication and all these things. They would here's 5, 6 of them. Here's 10 at a time. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars they'd be willing to pay. This, I think I get $1,100 a year, $100, under $100 a month to maintain the optimal health, at least in my opinion. And I think a lot of men could probably shed some of these big pharma pushed, money generating drugs that they're just pushing on you, which is acceptable. That's acceptable.
But why do you think that is? Why are we pushing these drugs like this? Why not push testosterone?
Profit. Because is testosterone your body produces, as far as I understand, you cannot patent something that is naturally produced in your body. Therefore, these big pharma cannot can't patent it, and they can't profit off of it.
I will specify these are the opinions of Casey McDole, not Vitality Health and Wellness, but it's interesting to hear his thoughts.
Well, I think that a lot of problems that men have is due to because your body is a nuclear reactor. Okay. If you're not giving it the proper fuel, you're not giving it the proper visual, mental frequencies, everything around you, if it is an imbalance, you're not ready to, you're not ready to become who you
could be, who
you 100% could be.
I think you bring up a good point talking about you spend $100 a month essentially on testosterone replacement, and you're not on blood pressure medicine. You're not on cholesterol. You take zero medications. At 44 years old, with a history like our family history, I also take zero prescribed medications. Our family history, I'm 42. My mom, she already had cancer by now.
Everyone died of cancer or a heart attack.
Our mom was first diagnosed with cancer at 35, right? She had her first heart attack at 40, I believe, and then passed away at 54.
39, because I just got out.
Yeah. So she was already on cholesterol meds. She was already on thyroid meds. She was already on boom, you name it, right? So I think it's safe to say, because we have taken our hormones into our hands, we have changed our lifestyle, we are preventing, right, going down the path that our mom went down. I used to say, because grandma passed away when she was 72, mom was 54. I used to say, I'll be happy to make it to 65.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, screw that, man. I'm living longer than all of them.
That's the lifestyle change. Again, I remember, vividly driving down the road my first day back to work after mom's funeral, and I'm smoking a Marlboro Light.
Hell yeah.
And I just looked at this thing and I was like, why?
Flicked
it out the window.
Done.
That was it.
Done.
Okay. Now that was hard.
That was hard.
I'm not, that is hard to quit smoking like that. I put on probably 30 pounds. I had an embarrassing summer. I felt like,
because you didn't want to take your shirt off.
I didn't want to take my shirt off. It was embarrassing. I'm like, I can't. I'm just gonna start smoking again.
It's kind of crazy. Like as a woman, like body dysmorphia is a thing, right? I was over 200 pounds. Like it's hard even then when you lose. Like when I'm down the weight I am now, sometimes I look in the mirror and I still see that 200-pound girl. And it's interesting to hear it from a guy's perspective.
Okay, what did you say? Genetics earlier. I saw Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler. Okay, big guy. Okay, these guys look like they're 7 foot tall. He's 5'10". He's my height. And he said on TV or on a podcast or whatever, I was listening to this guy. He was saying what you said, genetics. He goes, I have the genetics. I don't care. He says, I don't care if your body isn't shaped this way underneath all that, you're not going to ever look like this. So that's the thing with me is I've got more definition than I had in my youth. Okay. But I still have that same body shape.
You do. Yeah.
Okay. It's still, now I just have more angles that I never had. So that same shape kid, like you said, with the love handles and the belly fat is still there, but it's just smaller. Okay, and other things are big around it. So you're not gonna take the testosterone and come out looking like Jay Cutler, Arnold Schwarzenegger, any of these guys.
Right. But are they natural?
No,
guys?
absolutely not.
Oh, well, there you go.
Absolutely not.
Right. So I mean, if you were unnatural, could you potentially? I mean, I don't know. That's not a question for you to answer. It's not really what our point here is, but I completely understand what you're saying. Bioidentical testosterone is not going to change you as a human, right? It is going to improve you and take you back to what you once were.
So, that's one of the stigmas with the steroids. Again, I've never, ever done anything like that, but is, you always hear roid rage. I've had friends do it and I've seen the roid rage, and I've seen the disgusting acne these guys go through. There's none of that with testosterone replacement. There's none of this.
Have you had any negative side effects?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't.
Most commonly with men, you can see, not to the degree of anabolic steroids, but you can see an increase in oil production and you can see a little uptick in acne. It's usually the men who had severe acne as a kid. They might have a little bit more acne as an adult, but it's pretty rare with my men. So you haven't had any issues.
No, I mean, it's, nothing noticeable. For sure. I mean, the benefits have definitely outweighed any
negative effects
that there is.
That is awesome.
That I've noticed.
Yeah. Very cool. What else would you like to talk about? Is there anything that I did not ask you that you're like, man, I really think that your listeners or viewers need to know X?
I just think it's a stigma. Everyone's afraid. It's just guys are afraid. They don't even like to talk about it. It's like I mention it. And it's kind of like, they're like, what? You do what? And then I explain it's a minor procedure. You go up to the office and it's a minor surgical procedure. And they're confused and interested at the same time because they don't want to admit that they're having these problems at home. And it's like, gentlemen, I will say, try this before you try the blue pills.
I do not want to sit here and talk about your sex life, but we will leave it at that, huh?
I would just say, okay? Okay.
God, I'm going to throw up in my mouth.
I'm just saying. It's not even about sex life. It's just waking up in the morning and you knock the lamp over. It happens.
That is a symptom of low testosterone, right? So we're going to go from not talking specifically about you and your body parts to speaking generalities here. I'm getting all flustered. My hands are sweating. That low, oh my goodness.
It's just the penis.
but it's your penis, and that's gross. A decrease in morning erections is a symptom of low, or a sign of low testosterone.
Yeah, I would agree to that. Or just aging. I don't know what happens to us.
Well, aging, what happens when you age? You lose testosterone, right? That's what people need to recognize. They're like, oh, I go to my doctor and my doctor says, well, this is a normal sign of aging. You're damn right it is. It is a normal sign of aging because as you age, you lose your hormones.
Well, another thing that we lose as men is prostate function. It doesn't fire as tight as it once did. Okay. And that's just, again, a fact of life. And it's something that I can attest to in certain things where, again, you wake up in the middle of the night, knock the lampshade over. But before you were doing that, you might have, went to the bathroom, shake it 3 times, only 3. And then you still had a little dribble there. For some reason, the testosterone helps things out like that. It doesn't. You shake it 3 times and your drawers are dry when you head back to bed, if you know what I'm saying. So
I kind of feel like I don't want to be talking to my brother about this, but at the same time, no other male patient is going to talk to me about this. So I love it because some people will say you should not go on testosterone because it's going to put you at an increased risk for prostate cancer. You just said yourself, you didn't really say it in a medical jargon, but going on testosterone has improved what we call benign prostatic hypertrophy. So what happens is your prostate is a donut that goes around your urethra, right? As you age, it starts swelling up. Well, you can imagine your urethra is the tube that allows the urine to exit, right? So if it's swelling up, it's going to clamp off on the urethra. So when you go to void, when you go to the bathroom, that dribbling that you said you shake it 3 times and it's still going. It's because of that pressure that's put on the urethra by the prostate. So then I put you on testosterone, and next thing you know, that prostate, that swelling is relaxing. It's allowing you to empty your bladder completely. That's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up.
I have a pretty relaxed vas deferens and seminal vesicles as well, too, for waxing medical on these things.
Do you even know what a vas deferens is?
Absolutely.
I think that's a good point for us to stop, don't you?
Hey, I don't even
Let me ask you one final question I ask all my patients. If I had not started working at Vitality Health and Wellness, if you had not started on testosterone replacement therapy, where do you think you would be today? Obviously, you would still be in the same job.
Struggling at the gym to, put 25s up over my head.
Yeah, what are you putting up over your head nowadays?
I don't know.
You don't want to talk about that?
It's not about quality.
Quality, right? It's all about the quality.
It's about quality. And again, with an injury, it's not. At 44, you don't really. We're not really. I gotta do 125 a couple times. No?
So you would really notice it at the gym.
Oh yeah,
you would really notice it
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Very good.
And I don't know. Probably just discouraged.
Yeah.
Discouraged. It's like, okay, well, just accepting that I'm middle-aged. Now I just go buy a Corvette, and hopefully that works.
That'll make me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now instead of a Corvette, you got testosterone.
Instead of the Corvette, I go to the gym.
There you go. There you go. I love it. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
It was my pleasure.
I hope to see you again.
Let's do this.
Maybe at a family function. We'll see.